Good. Yeah, it's still morning. Good morning, guys. Marshall Burtcher here, and if you're new to me, I help codependents rediscover their happiness after codependency, and love addiction, and narcissistic relationships. Today, we're going to talk about healing again, because one, this is a concept that we often have a pretty antagonistic relationship with at first, especially when we start new processes. And two, it's a good reminder to those of you working through your healing in any fashion, whether it's in a course, whether it's with a therapist, whether it's with yourself, some sort of self-guided or solo program, whether it's in a group, those kind of things. And so getting a feel for how healing really works and how to deal with the overwhelm that often comes with it empowers us to succeed. So now I need to share this out to the community here real quick. So let me do that really fast. The community is a safe haven where you can find more guidance, more understanding, more shelter from the storm and the chaos and confusion of narcissistic abuse and codependency, and actually start achieving more healing in your life. Links above on Facebook, it's below on YouTube, and if you're on YouTube, hit that subscribe button. So good morning, guys. So the healing path and overwhelm, what to do about it. So healing is a process, not an event. That's where I like to start this out with, because most of the time, like in my own journey, when I started my healing work, I got into healing work to fix pain so I didn't feel the pain anymore. And I had this fantasy that if the pain were fixed, I would be in a specific place in my life. I'd be able to do certain things in my life. I'd have certain things. I'd have the experiences, I'd have the relationships, I'd have the wealth and the success. So I was trying to fix myself to get things I wanted. Now, what does that sound like to you? Right? Does that sound loving? Does that sound like a caring position to come from? No, it isn't. It's actually a transactional function. Because I'm fixing myself, I'm trying to change myself to get something. So in a way, I'm actually rejecting myself. I'm saying, nope, this pain's wrong, gotta fix the pain so I can get what I want, because I think I know what I want, right? So this is why I start off with a journey rather than an event, because healing is more about the discovery of ourselves beyond the pain, beyond the shame, the guilt, the fear, the fatigue, beyond the trauma, and beyond our own reactions and our own history, because that has undoubtedly influenced us, shaped us, but it's also a filter in which we see ourselves through. And if we're to really heal, if we're really to move from a state of maybe shame to a state of confidence, for instance, we have to begin to see ourselves from a different lens, a different point of view, be able to connect with that and allow that to become our own truth. This is what healing really is. It's an evolution of our understanding of our experiences, our feelings, our identity, and our relationship with other people and with reality. And this can feel like a daunting experience, right? And that's natural too, because we're dealing with identity. And so changing and growing, especially if we've been involved with relationships where who we are has been shamed and attacked and dismissed and thrown away, well, it's going to be scary to change because we don't know what that's going to result in. Is it going to result in more abuse? Is it going to result in being abandoned? Is it going to be result in being alone again? Those kind of things. So that's where a lot of overwhelm can come from. Another place that overwhelm frequently comes from is from the pressure to get it right. And that comes back to the idea that healing is an event and we need to make it right so we get what we want. And that is high pressure because a lot of times what we want is to protect a relationship or escape fire, escape a situation. And so when we have that kind of overwhelm, we need to step back and acknowledge our fear. Put it on the table. Like, wow, yeah, this is uncomfortable. I'm scared that this isn't going to work. I'm scared I'm not going to be able to do it right. I'm scared that it won't get me where I want to be. If we put it on the table and we allow it to be, then it becomes a lot easier to navigate, because now we're not fighting against this. Instead, we're accepting and going, oh, this is a possibility, and I'm willing to take the chance. I'm willing to be curious too. Curiosity is the secret sauce to effective healing, regardless of what you're doing, because it gets your mind open to change, and it allows you to experience different things and to receive the results of the processes you're doing. Because every process relies on your availability to it. So if you're closed off to the process working, or you're trying to make it work to accomplish a specific kind of outcome, you are going to have a very frustrating time, because it's a lot like taking a screwdriver and trying to use it as a hammer, when in reality you just need a hammer to put that nail into the wall. So if we're unwilling to look at how the tool is functioning based on what you're trying to accomplish, we're going to use any tool we get our hands on, and then it's likely going to fail. Or we're going to try to make the tool work the way we want it to, rather than allow the tool to function the way it does and receive the result it creates. Because when we allow it to work the way it does and we receive the result, it informs us about what you need. It informs us about where to go from there. It's one of the key elements of discovery, is to test it and see what it shows up. And not just once, but several times, so we can see if there's a pattern. Because some tools take a fair bit of practice for them to begin to take effect, because of the nature of the way we interact with the tool. So I recommend whatever tool you're using, it's a meditation, if it's a practice, if it's a therapeutic tool, open up to curiosity. Open up to seeing, well, I wonder what this is going to do today. I wonder how this is going to, I wonder what the result will be. And see what it does. And my hunch is that you're going to find yourself succeeding very fast. That's what made a huge difference in my world, is when I got into curiosity about how the tools worked that I was using, things really started changing, because I was able to receive what was showing up. And it's okay if tools don't work. Whomever you're working with, or whatever system you're working with, communicate that to them, and then I'll likely be able to guide you in how to either use a different tool or how to approach that tool differently and see how it works. See, the whole point here is healing's built into you. It's really about getting our mind out of the way and becoming open and curious to receiving what shows up for us in that event. So really, guys, this is how we handle that overwhelm. We get curious. We follow whatever instructions that might be there. And this is one thing I see frequently, and I've seen it in myself. I remember doing this too. Students and clients tend to try to absorb everything and do everything at once. They overwhelm themselves rather than just actually following the instructions. That's one that might sound like really pointed, but if you go back to, if you're overwhelmed and confused about what you might be doing and whatever work you're doing, go back to the instructions you begin with and just follow them. Give them a sense of trust and see what they do. And allow the system to prove itself by giving it opportunities to do that. And you'll find yourself succeeding there too. This is about relaxing our desire to control outcomes and opening up a bit to seeing what happens. I know that can be terrifying, and it's understandable why it would be, because it's change, and it's, if things don't work, what happens now, and what do I do then, and things like that. And those can get us trapped in these cycles of non-effectiveness, where we're actually sabotaging our own healing. But if we open up to that curiosity and allow ourselves to really connect with what we're receiving, and then give that feedback to whomever's guiding you, they can assist you in breaking that free. This is how I work with my students and my clients with healing. I don't expect the tool to work. I expect the tool to give you a result, and then I want to understand what that is, and then I can give you guidance as to what to do with that result. Because not all tools work for everybody. And so that's the other component here with healing, is you're an individual. And so you're going to have unique needs. You're going to have things approached in unique ways for you. And in my systems, if there's a unique need, I will create a unique tool for you. Sometimes it takes a little time to get that done, but I'll get that done. And that's because healing is the point, right? So, guys, if you're actively engaged in your healing and you're finding it overwhelming, take a moment to assess whether or not you're trying to control the outcome, Ask yourself if you're willing to be curious and receive the outcomes that happen as you do the tools as outlined. Follow the instructions and allow those to be enough. And then give yourself permission to be curious about your own growth and change. Let yourself discover yourself through these processes. And that will ignite your healing. That'll allow your brain to grow and change and allow your perspectives to evolve. And you'll find yourself in very, very different places in your life. So that's really all I have today, guys. I appreciate you. Remember that you're worth knowing, loving, and keeping. And if you have any thoughts or questions on this, feel free to ask below in the comments. And keep yourself safe out there, guys. And I will see you in our next training video for the next bit of fun, where we'll be getting into some more. I'm looking at talking on avoidant attachment styles and things like that. We'll see what inspires us. But be safe out there. I appreciate you. And talk with you soon. Bye-bye, guys.